So, to start with, to introduce myself, I'm an architect. I work for a quite large company in Moscow, and also I'm a co-founder of Dmitrovka, a creative association in which we tend to work to somehow enrich our countryside also, and to develop different spaces. And also we do some teaching practice in Moscow Architecture University Institute with my colleagues. And we also do some kind of series of lectures and meetings and interviews online with our colleagues in Russia and abroad, such as some of my friends and colleagues in UCL Bartlett and some of my colleagues in Zurich. So I guess you can find information on that particular thing, particular case on our site and YouTube channel. Okay, so to start with, I was asked to speak about the issues we have in working in countryside, Russian countryside. And so I decided to call the lecture The Resurrection and Development of a Russian Countryside. We should understand clearly what Russian architecture and what Russian countryside is actually. So to say that large part of my childhood was spent in Russian countryside in the Russian north, which is a cultural and historical area in the Russian north, in the center of Russia, and it. I'm not sure if it has any particular center, but these are some cities that particularly form its presence. These are Arkhangelsk and Vologda, mostly. So what is Russia and what is its countryside and what is its presence nowadays? Unfortunately, I should say that well, it is kind of unfortunate and fortunate in the same time. Russian countryside has preserved most of its well, unique qualities that come from I think 18th and 19th centuries, such as the absence of I guess some common features that we are used to have in cities, such as gas and most of the useful things connected to canalization and all that stuff. So during the Soviet period, the process of gasification and providing gas, natural gas in private houses was mostly made in Soviet Ukraine, but in the northern regions of Russia, in the Russian north, the process of gasification wasn't really present. But the the large settlements. So this particular fact is quite important. So people heat their houses with firewood and so on. So you should understand that and consider in your projects. The other fact that we should know about the Russian countryside in the central parts of Russia is that Russian village is well, in ongoing process of its I guess extinction due to the process of urbanization. And we had a meeting on that case, large meeting. Well, actually, my friends from an organization that they are not architects, they are urbanists, and made an exploration on that case of urbanization, deurbanization processes all around the world and in Russian countryside also. It's a complex process that can't be reduced to something particular. But I guess the root part of the process is economic situation and economic structure of the space-time we are in Russia now. So that said, I should also say about the projects we have done for the region in which I spent my childhood mostly. Okay, so the village in which I lived is situated in, I guess I should show you the map, in Vologda region, which is 650 kilometers from Moscow. And so here it is, the Vologda city. There is the Cherepevets city, which is home city for a large Russian company called Severstal. I guess you all know it. And so my village is around here. If you can see my mouse cursor, yeah. So this large lake north of Vologda city is called Kubinskaya Lake. It has a large history of it, and first it was used as a part of a trade route from north to south, from northern countries to southern regions, as we call it, from Varex to Greeks. And during Soviet period, it was also used as a path to distribute goods and construction materials. And partly it is also used nowadays, but of course less than before. So further north we have Kirillov city, Belozersk city, and somewhere around there we have Ferapontovo village, which is UNESCO's well, historical place, in which we have a renowned church with very old frescoes by a very renowned Russian painter. So this is a route on which we tend to put some places of interest to somehow distribute evenly the flow of tourists to these three points on the map. So the Ferapontovo, Kirillov, and Belozersk. Kirillov also has an ancient monastery there, and Belozersk also too has some places of interest in it. So tourists from around the world, they tend to go to the northern Russia, to the Russian north, and they go to Kirillov mostly. Not mentioning the Slavki part, which is far northern, and we won't discuss it today. So we try to somehow resurrect, I guess, the place Kubinskaya, which is situated right in the beginning of the Kubinskaya Lake and can be a great, a wonderful place to start a road to other parts of the region. So we decided to do something as far as the overall situation in the place isn't that good, and it is not good at all, I guess. So it isn't good due to the economic problems mostly. So this is what Kubinskaya looked like in the beginning of the century. Some of the churches are still there. I guess the left one. No, the right one. The left one was demolished, unfortunately, during the beginning of the Soviet time. And the right one is still present in the form of local library. Was a common practice during the beginning of the Soviet period. And the marketplace in the front is absent today also. So we decided to make some impact and proposed the development of some cultural center, a sports school, a yacht club, trade routes and trade pavilions, and some concept for the landscaping, local landscaping. These were some points of interest we discovered during the process of analysis. It's a library and some cultural objects in the village. And we decided to make some proposals on the landscaping. So the yacht club and the youth sports school was a project which drive all the proposals, all other proposals, because we thought that the locals, they wanted to have some sort of sports and educational facilities in there, and they do not have them. Unfortunately, the ability to have some, they don't have any, unfortunately. Many of them, despite they live by the lake, many of them can't swim. So because the lake is quite dangerous to learn to swim. It is well, it is because lake, the particular lake is has some difficulties. Well, okay, so we decided to propose some other objects, some quite strange, I guess. And the other one was the cultural center, in which we decided to propose the moving of the library and from the church to a new developed cultural center. This is the one. the one and the other one isn't. Okay. Unfortunately, I can't show you the other one. We had two proposals on the subject. So the overall concept was about the moving of. There was some kind of poetic idea concerning the Kubinskaya village, and we decided to what is Kubinskaya? What is Kubinskaya? So Kubinskaya is a village, and Kubinskaya is a lake, and what is it actually? What it actually is? It is a place of cultural, some cultural place. Okay, a point, an attraction point to attract culture and to develop some kind of discussion and so on. And we decided to call it Kubinskaya in Kubinskaya to stress out the importance of the place. So the cultural center may as well be in the Kubinskaya Lake, or the yacht club could be in the Kubinskaya Lake, and anything else could be in the Kubinskaya Lake, which is near the Kubinskaya village. Thus, we would connect the lake and the village. So that was the moving outwards diagram. Then we make a stop. Then some kind of vector deforms the object and tend to look around. So we have this form, which is eventually came out to be the yacht club, something like that. The point was to make a yacht club connected with the free school, public school, sports school. It's a common form of schools we have in Russia, which is which we have from the Soviet period, which is we call youth sports school. So, okay. The other thing that I wanted to share with you is our project for Khanty-Mansi Autonomous Region. Okay, let's start with this one. It is called Park for Youth, park in Lyantor city, which is situated in the north, in the Siberian part of Russia. So we were asked to make a proposal for them, and so it is formed with some amount of vectors on the existing forest. Okay. So we have some certain zones in the park. This is the photo from the public meetings at the place, where locals were able to say something and propose changes to our project. These are some layers we actually use in the project. These are the preserved plants, which is very important for us. And the other one is the network of roots, the benches, and all. And okay, viewpoints, pavilions in the park. So this is the site plan, something like that. So, and the other one is the square in the same city, which is called the Square of Friendship of Peoples. Why is that? Is it called so? Is because well, the Khanty-Mansi Autonomous Region is actually a region which is formed with presence of a large amount of different peoples. I'm not quite sure how many there are. Let me see. Must be somewhere there. But the three main ones are the Russians, the Tatar, and the Khanty-Mansi, to which this region is home region. So thus we decided to make a concept connected to the idea of the identity of the place, of the intersection of different cultures. And so we decided to make three main vectors connected in one place in the center. And there we have Khanty-Mansi, Tatar, and Russian natural ornaments. And they connect in the center. And also in the center, we have a space for gatherings, some kind of square, you may call it. And also we have these strangely formed thing in the center, which is bent around children playground. And this is because we think that the main connecting theme for all those peoples are their children. And so these are the layers of this project. The present plants, which we all preserve, and the system of routes, benches and all, pavilions and all. Okay, so here it is. And in this square, we decided to make some kind of tiles with all the ornaments we have in Russia, because all peoples of Russia is present in the city, more or less. And so we digged deep into that, and thanks to the author of a book on the ornaments of Russian peoples, she agreed to for us to use her book in the project. We have all those beautiful diagrams here. So something like that. So what we should say next to the conclusion. We have very wonderful places here in Russia, mostly undeveloped, and we have all the possibility to make an impact. But the locals are, well, I guess mostly okay with it and will support. But the other thing we have is the local authorities, which are very, very difficult to work with. And from our perspective, we now tend to work more with the local communities, with the citizens, And I guess from the perspective for our recent recent projects, we can say that this is the first thing we should do is the first thing we should do is to go and speak with the locals, and this discussion should be on all the time, and it should be clear, it should be very loud, so the local authorities won't be able to ruin the whole thing. Because these examples that I showed you, these three ones, they are all on halt, and the first one the Kubinsk village development is actually a very strange one, because we decided this project was absolutely free. We didn't charge them anything. It was some kind of our proposal to make an impact. We wanted to start a discussion. We wanted to talk. We wanted to invite investors to say that we can do something to develop the place, to make the life better. And unfortunately, all they did, they actually stole our idea. They realized it very strangely, I guess. And well, that's what they did. They made some kind of platform on top of the embankment around the local pond. And so this is the way they live there. You should note the houses here. So for me, it's quite a strange solution, and they received money for the realization of the project they decided to do, which you can see on the photograph from the federal budget. And we, while we proposed before to make a nice project for them for free, of course, but unfortunately, it turned out to be, I guess, a disaster. And for me, it is quite an example, not to mention our experience in Khanty-Mansi Autonomous Region, which has also turned out to be a great failure due to the fact that the local authorities that whom we worked, they just dropped it all. It's a quite long case to discuss now. I won't deeper into it. Well, actually, I wrote an article on that, depicting all of the facts that happened during the period and during the work on the project, with all names and so on. I thought it would be really necessary because young architects don't know anything about the interaction with local authorities. So they must be aware of some strange, stupid things they can do. So the article is in Russian, but I guess you can translate it using Google Translate, or maybe later I will translate it myself. It can be found in our blog. And the last thing I wanted to say is that despite the overall strange behavior, the reason for this, all that stuff, I think it is the overall lack of culture, because many of those people who work as local authorities in the places have a very weak education, and got the places, I think, due to some kind of bribes. It is the thing that we have from the 90s, from the place of total destruction. And so the last thing I wanted to say is that despite all that stuff, despite all the some kind of despair that you as an architect, as a citizen get during these projects, despite all that, there is space for laughter and for some kind of, well, joy, as far as the local governor, the head of the region. I don't have his photo now, but you can see it in the video in this article. He came to the place and said that it was a great thing that they did, this particular pond with this wonderful well, I don't know, this thing in the beginning. Okay, so it was very hilarious, and I guess and I wrote him a letter in Facebook, after which he banned me there. So it was very funny. So despite all the strange things, we do have good examples of realized projects in other regions. It all depends on the current head of the region, whether he is okay with the development of his place or not. And so that's it, I guess. Maybe you have any questions? Hello, anybody?
Hi. Hello?
Yeah.
Hi. So I wanted to ask that in a rural setting, like the ones that you worked in, what is the prospect of having a technology or a technology hub kind of space?
Could you repeat the last part?
Yeah. So of developing a center or a place where technology companies come and have offices, especially new ones. So something like a Silicon Valley.
There are some particular examples of such developments, I guess, but mostly they are situated in the Kazan region. As far as Kazan is somehow particular, let's say, and it's head of this you know that it is a it has its own government and so on in the federation. It's a part of federation. Yeah, I guess you should understand the division of Russia.
Yes.
So not all regions are the same, and not all regions have the same set of ruling structures, and they all tend to make their own decisions. In some of the regions, like the Kazan region, they have their own politics on that, and they have some kind of I'm not sure how to call it, let's say place, a region where there is some kind of lower taxes and so on. So
Okay.
yeah, and this same one is developed in Kaliningrad Oblast. which is in the west.
Uh-huh.
So something like that, and something like that. I was thinking about the Far East, but I'm not sure.
Sure. Cool.
Which but if we talk about the local development with the involvement of the business, it is all different.
Okay.
It all differs from the interaction with the local authorities, with the authorities of the region. As far as they, as I depicted them all, I guess very vividly, and more vividly in the YouTube video I made. And after all, Mr. Kuvshenikov banned me in Facebook. So I think it is quite an example. On the other hand, fortunately, we have private businesses which sometimes they tend to make something for their local cities, not only thinking about the transactions of their capitals to the foreign states, fortunately, but as well know, but they also do something for their local places, such as we worked with Segezha Group, whose local home region is Vologda region, and their local town is Sokol, and they have a very large production factory there. So they made possible the realization of one of our workshops in Vologda, thanks to them. So I guess the question you asked is the answer to it lays in the plane of working with local businesses mostly.
Cool. Thank you.
More questions, please. Because this lecture is quite near your decisions, and the next steps will be your opinion, and we will listen it to 21st of May with the juries. That's why now is this possibility to discuss and to ask some special questions you have now.
Hi.
Hi.
I want to ask about initiatives in a places. When for example, our place it's quite rural area. There is not many jobs and it's not many a lot of population as well. There's not many people living there. What do you think? Which kind of initiatives we could bring up to put people together to get involved in a like working as a community, working with a project?
If you are talking about the let's say how it is called when you call the locals to participate in the project, the participative,
because I don't want the locals to be, because our client wants locals to be kind of involved and he wants to create the community. He doesn't want to have local people kind of being put on a side and he attracting just people from Moscow or somewhere. So he wants to bring everyone together. And what do you think? Which kind of ideas we could?
I'm not quite sure on the overall situation that you're working on and the project, the theme, etc. As far as I know, locals in Russia tend to like when you involve them in the process of designing the project, but there is need to thoroughly explain yourself for them, explain the project for them, and take them into consideration, their needs, their wants, and their will, and etc. And to explain. This is the first thing, I guess. Maybe there is a lack of understanding of what can be done from their point of view. As far as they don't know the situation in the world, they don't know, well, not in the political world, I guess they are quite aware of it, mostly because of the TV. But I think that they don't really know the modern architecture, they don't understand it, and thus we should come to them and tell them what it is, what can be done, show them exact examples of realized projects, built projects, and happy people there in places where these projects are done, and so they can understand what you're going to do. Because what I have, what experience I have from this perspective is that as far as Russian North is a, well, I guess, forest region, if we can call it. So wood is the main local material, and they are fed up with it. And the main idea when we made our workshop, for me, wood is a very essential thing. It is my favorite material on the other hand. So when we came there and to do the masterclass, to workshop, we built some local small scale objects in the city, such as benches and all that. No, well, with the students of the local unit, mostly architects. So the responses we got in the press on the comments under the posts weren't that good. As far as they called it wooden logs and rotten and so on. Something like that. That they are actually fed up with wood. But this is because of the wood we use in modern architecture. What is modern wood? They don't know it. So our problem was that we couldn't tell everybody what can be done. I made some lectures in Vologda for the participants of the workshop, but the local people didn't see them.
Yeah.
So, but no, well, yeah, but so that that's why they tend to build houses from bricks and stone and so on, and the overall anticipation of the old houses and so on. Yeah, they don't have the examples of Switzerland, for example, where the old houses, old wooden structures are preserved and made quite modern. Maybe if they knew their thoughts were different.
Yeah, but it seems like everything comes to talking to people and showing them what can be done.
Yeah.
And yeah, all right, cool. Thank you very much.
Thank you.